You know, one of the things that I love about my ZDZA off-roading bike is it's just a big chunky boy and it goes fast. But what if I want something a little bit smaller? Because even with a seat at its lowest, this isn't exactly the easiest for me to get on. So I got something else. I got myself a Bluvall SU8. And I said Bluvall. There's a V in there. Stop it. Fragile. Except for trying to open the box. Don't be fragile. It's glued too. So let's open this up. Good enough. Let's get everything out. All right. This is what it looks like once we get it out of the package. As you can see, much smaller and apparently just as fast, if not faster. I like that. So much smaller frame, tire, 3 boxes. I got a fender in there. I don't know what that goes to. It looks like a little protective piece, but we'll find out. And also, shipping. We got one broken thing. Don't know what that is. Don't know if it's important, but I guess we'll find out. So now it's time to take all this zip tie protection stuff off and let's lay out and see what we got. And there we go. Besides the plastic wrap on there, just because from the looks of it, everything is smushed down for shipping. So this is eventually going to need to be placed up there. So it is going to raise the seat so it's level. But besides that, the plastic wrap, 3 boxes, front fender, and tire. So that's what we've got. Now let's open up these guys. And here is everything in the box. We've got the instruction manual, the charger, the little, I forgot what they're called, the little locking thing for your front tire. You've got a bunch of tools here, so a little multi-tool and a little Swiss tool thing. You've got a cable protection cover, some zip ties, your pedals, a big old headlight, the battery, keys, and I thought this was just the coolest thing ever. They give you a phone mount, which is the coolest dang thing I've ever seen accessory-wise, and it plugs into the bike, so somehow this is powered, and I'm guessing it's for that USB, so you can actually charge your phone. Genius. Well, now that we have everything out of the box, we're gonna grab our tools and we're going to start getting this thing assembled. So the first thing we're gonna do is come up to the front, and there are 4 screws here. We're gonna go ahead, since they're already loose, we're gonna go ahead and take all 4 of these screws off. Now that that is off, we're going to grab the handlebars and pop this right on here. You can see it right in its little grooved area. Pop that on there, grab the other side, which I have down here, and put the bolts through. Once you have those bolts snug, not tight, make sure everything is centered. So on this side, I don't see any sort of those ridges like you see in the middle, and same thing on this side. So now I know that it is centered. Now we're gonna come to the front of the bike, and now we want to do our angle. So we know it's centered, so now we wanna do our angle. Do we want it angled forward, backwards, however you like it? Once you get that, then tighten those 4 bolts. And of course, if you don't like its angle, you can always change it later. But we're getting all this stuff put together now. So now that that is nice and solid, these ones right here are loose and they are going to have to be tightened up. But as you can see, this is off. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna need to scoot that over and try to make this as even as possible. This is just making so the front tire is straight when the handlebars are straight. So we're gonna make this as close as possible. I still got a little bit more that I need to do. Once that's even, you will tighten these 2. And since we're on the handlebars, we might as well get this awesome little phone mount on here. So we're gonna grab our tool, just a Phillips head, and we're going to loosen this one up. And once it's loose enough to take out by hand, we're gonna take that out. And now this can be stretched and you can pop this over your handlebar so the handlebar goes through here. So for the display, I just kind of scooted it across, pushed it over, just a little bit of wiggle so it got enough in. And then for this one, just like I said, you open it up. I've got the screw here so I can place the screw through here onto the other side, finger tighten that in, and then tighten it up to right where I want it. So I'll probably have it, scoot it over over just a tiny bit, just so it's right next to that one. Well, it's definitely not the most amount of room to have both of these on here at the same time, because if I do want to open this up, this guy gets in the way. So if you're gonna put your phone in here and you want this one up here, you just lean that guy forward, open this up, slap your phone in there, get it locked in, and just lower this guy down. Or keep it up, or don't have this. I mean, it's totally up to you. Still have more research, but this has a USB-C on the bottom of it. So you could charge your phone with that. You could charge your phone with this. There's Bluetooth on here, so if you don't want this at all, Bluetooth would, I guess, just go to your phone? I don't even know yet. But now that we have this on here, this open plug, that's what it goes to. So we'll go ahead and plug this guy in and we'll be done. Now we want to start working on the shock absorbers. So first things first, we're going to get this screw and we're gonna take it out. You can see that there's another end to it there. So here is the screw that was just so ever slightly screwed in on the other side. So now that that's out, we can remove the whole thing. So that's what the other side screws into. Pretty simple stuff. And now that this is removed, all we have to do is raise the frame up, and we're gonna align this through here. So it's gonna be sitting in the middle, and then we're gonna put the pin through all three, if you wanna think of it that way. I don't know how many holes a straw has is kind of what we're running into. Anyway, so that was pretty easy. We just lift up on the frame. The rear tire back here just kind of lowers itself. So you can go up, down, make sure you have it. This thing also swivels like that, so it's not gonna just come straight up. This is gonna start coming up this way, and then you just put this in, pop it in the middle. Easy enough, but we need a little bit more clearance to get that pin through there. There we go. After a few wiggles, we get that through, put the screw in on the other side, and tighten it down. Easy enough. And already, compared to my other e-bike, the rear, with the suspension, is amazing. I've got the forks, the shocks up front, but not the back. And that was the one thing I complained about with that other e-bike, is there was a lot in the back. So next up, we finally get to put on the front wheel. Now, I was able to figure out from the booklet that this is just a protective thing that they put on the forks. So this is not needed. It's okay that it broke because it's packing. So now to put on the front tire, there is this little colored piece in here that we're gonna have to remove. On the other side, you can see there's a little place to grab, so we're gonna take that out. Now it'll be able to slip in between here and you can use the brakes. So we're gonna get that out of the way. The instructions say to take off screws, but doesn't say what screws, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's a lot. So I don't really know yet. So let's find out together. I do have to say, before I put this tire on, compared to the other e-bike, this tire is super light compared to the other ones. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It might be a good thing because weight reduction, might be a bad thing because of quality, but it is noticeably light. It's also a much smaller tire, of course, compared to the other one, because that thing's a monster. But yeah, this thing's very light. Maybe that's a good thing. So I'm gonna raise up the forks, can't do this with one hand, and then I'm gonna set the forks down right on the middle, like you would think it would go. It should balance on there for me to be able to get that brake slotted in between our disc. Well, I'm pretty sure I did it right, and I didn't have to remove any screws. So you can see the brake caliper is sitting right inside there. So when I squeeze the brakes, it actually squeezes that disc. So that's right where it needs to be. And you'll know you're right where you need to be if you look over the top. You can see it's on the outside of both. That's right where it needs to be. Right now it is just kind of hovering. There's nothing to keep it on, but that's the next step. So they call this the skewer, and this is going to go through the front axle and bind it together so the forks don't come off. So if you look in here, you can see a hole. If you do not see a hole, I had a bunch of cardboard that was smushed in there, so I just literally used this on the other side and poked it through, Now there should be a hole that goes all the way through. So on this side, we're gonna use the arm. We're gonna take off the end piece and one of the screws. And then one side's gonna look like this. We're gonna stick that through like that. So you got that little spring in there. And then on the other side, we're gonna switch around. We're gonna put this small side in and then the cap at the end. So we got the small side and then the cap, but I actually have to smush the other side in so this makes contact. Push that through. There we go. And once it's nice and snug, not too tight or else you won't be able to close this, then you get this. I'll use my other hand, and then you're going to push this in like that, and it's gonna lock it into place. It's nice and tight. So we are all done with the front. I am going to make sure that all of the screws and everything on here are nice and tight to hold this in place. These ones need to remain loosey-goosey. These ones up here, and the other one over here on this side, because that's where we will put our fender on next. So next we are going to get this front fender installed. So the first step is to take this screw out. And once we take this screw out, we will also take out, like I said before, these two screws at the bottom because that's where our fender is gonna go to. Alrighty, so we've got the bolt that's put through. Doesn't say anything about the washer, but I put the washer on the other side since this side already has two. So we're gonna put it like that, raise this up, and it's gonna go through this threaded hole right in here. There we are. We're gonna tighten this up, and then as we're tightening this up, I'm gonna come down here. You see these two, they're gonna come right here where we just took those bolts. You don't have to take them out like I did, you just have to loosen them up. And then the hole, well, I guess you do have to take them out because this needs to go through here to be tightened on to here. Plus, again, we've got multiple washers on here, so I feel like one might go on the other side because the instructions don't say anything about the washers, but I feel like one might go on the other side. We'll see. So we put that through the hole just like that, pop it back on here, and tighten it up. The washers stay on because they can't go anywhere else. And then we'll do that on the other side, and then just tighten them up, and then the fender is on. And now with that fender on, we're going to move up, and these little weird bracket looking things, these are gonna hold our gigantic Chungus headlight. I bet this thing is gonna be crazy bright because it's huge, but who knows? So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take out these little screws on both sides. And once you get those bolts out, you'll put them through the metal first, and then you put on the rubber washer like that on both sides. And then we will put the headlight straight through the middle. And before you put it on, make sure you have it oriented correctly. If you look at the back, speaker on the bottom, and the wire goes through the bottom. So this will be facing up. All right, now I've got them snugged in. We're gonna grab this little multi-tool and we're gonna figure out which one fits. That's a little bit too loosey-goosey. Maybe it's on this side. There we go, that's a nice snug one. So we're gonna get one in here just like this, and we're gonna tighten it like so with our little multi-tool. And once those are nice and snug, not too tight because this is a plastic housing, we're going to connect these two. So the last one that you have left on your harness just dangling down, and of course the one that comes from the headlight itself, we're going to connect them together. It's always easy to do these. If you look in here and you see there's that notch right there, and then there's that notch right there. Line those up and they'll pop together. And to finish off the headlight, because we're not done yet, we need to tighten these ones. So we're gonna grab our Allen, stick it in to where the sun don't shine. When that's nice and snug, we're going to grab another one of the provided tools, the larger end, and we're gonna hook it on there so we can hold that tight while we tighten the other side. Now that the headlight's complete, we're almost done. Let's put the pedals on. So pedals, left, left. You screw it on. I believe these are backwards because that just makes sense to be backwards threaded. So you're gonna be lefty-tighty. Yep, so that's gonna get it nice and snug. And of course, we'll use a tool right up here. It's gonna be this guy. We're gonna come in here and we're gonna tighten it that way. Beautiful. And once the left is done, we're gonna come over here onto the right. Yes, I've already taken the stickers off. And for this one, we're gonna go the regular way. We're gonna turn it right. All right, she's looking good. One more thing, of course, the battery. So we've got the battery here. I've got the key already in here, and you can see, because of this, it is unlocked. Now, if we turn it, you can see that pin moves in. That's in the locked position. So we'll keep it in the unlocked position right now. And this beefy boy is gonna come up here, slide in and down. And yeah, that's it. Grab our keys, make sure we lock this into place. So now it can't come out. Press that button and we don't have anything. We might be dead. We might need to charge this. Nope, almost forgot. On button. I heard a nice little click. There we go, perfect. Half battery, good for storage. But if you do want to plug it in, the charger, this is what it looks like. It's a big old chunk, but it's really light, a little creepy. We've got the barrel jack here, so we're just gonna take, there we go, take that out, plug it in, and there we go. It's, oh, yep. Ooh, it's got a fan. That's promising, because there's not a whole lot in there. It's basically see-through. But it's red, which means it's charging, so we're good. Let's get this a little bit of juice, and I guess we'll mess around with stuff up here. So now that everything's put together, you can sit on it and figure out, like, if your handlebars in the beginning, you might need to loosen these up and tilt them forward or move some of this stuff around. Well, the battery is charging and that fan is spinning. I'm gonna be doing a few things. So first things first, definitely gotta get these air in the tires. So the tires are 25 PSI in the summer, 30 in the winter, 30 is max based on the sidewall of the tires. So I got the front, I'm doing the rear. It's gonna take a while. So for the front suspension, we've got the compression here over on the right. If we turn it all the way to the right, that's tight. This thing's gonna lock in place. So the fork's not gonna go anywhere. And then as we turn it to the left, it becomes softer and softer. So once I put it all the way to the left, you can see here on the side, that's where the piston is. I'm just gonna put some pressure here on the frame. You'll be able to see. Now we've got some give. So it's not the most customizable just because it's not that expensive. But that's from what I noticed there. There's not really a whole lot of difference. And then this side, you can get a little bit more, I guess, fine tuning. So as you turn it to the right, it gets stiffer. And as you turn it to the left, it gets looser. I guess that's the best way to say it. So figure out what you like. So I have confirmed that the USB Type-C and over here on the phone mount, that USB Type-A, those are just for charging. So they plugged right into my phone and started charging immediately. So both of those are good for charging. Now, if you want to get onto this display, we'll hold down the power button here and we'll get the power up and going. You can see it always starts off at the PAS1, that is your pedal assist. So if we go down, we can change it to 0, all the way up to 5. That's just when you start pedaling, how much power it will give you. And then if you hit the power button, you can toggle between the top one. So if I hit up or down, you'll go to whatever your max speed was or your average speed or back to speed, hit power again. We're down at the bottom, we can do odometer. I'm guessing time, which I don't know how to change, the voltage of your battery, and a trip. If you hold up, nothing happens. But if you hold down, that's one of the functions, it is a walking assist. So you can see it's moving the bike forward, and there's that little dude that pops up right there. That's just walking assist. So it'll go really, really slow. That's if you were walking next to your bike and you want it to help because I guess something on wheels is too hard for you to push. Other than that, the other function that it has is cruise control, but there is no buttons like my other bike. If you're just keeping the throttle at a certain amount, say like 15 miles an hour, and you're very steady on it, the bike will recognize that after a few seconds, like 10 or 15 seconds, and it'll lock you in, and a little icon will come up. No buttons to press for it. So after going through the instructions, I did see that the time, as you can see, it's now less than what it was before. That is only for the Bluetooth option. So if you get the app and hook up your phone to this, it will update the time. So if you're not gonna do that, just change it back to something else and it will stay there. But the cool thing about the instructions, so right here, dashboard manual operating instructions. If you go to that link, I'll also link it down below, it goes through everything in the hidden menu. Unlike every other e-bike I've had. Hold down these two, and then you gotta put in your password, which I actually don't know what it is, so I need to get in there. All right, just figured it out. So, plus and minus, boom, secret menu. We're gonna do 1, 1, 1, 1. And now we get into the menu. So, this is the P code, and this is the value. Now, it's kind of difficult to do this and record since this stuff is on my phone, and this has an 8-second timer before it goes away. So I need 8, and 100 means there's no speed limit. So if you do want to put a speed limit on this, I believe this is kilometers or something like that, then you put it down to whatever it is. If it is set to 100, there is no limiter on it. So I've gone through all the settings and fiddled around with them, and I can't really see any difference in like the speed stuff, which is the stuff I really care about. And also something I noticed when I was testing around this, the PAS, so the pedal assist, if you put it at 0, 1, you're not gonna get pedal assist, and 2, the throttle doesn't work. You have to have it at least on pedal assist 1 or through 5, at least on 1 for it to actually move the bike. Now you can go into settings where we were just at the hidden menu. You can go in there and you can turn the pedal assist off. And you can also do it vice versa. So you can have it where both work, which is what I have now. So the throttle will work and the pedal assist. You can turn the pedal assist off so it's just throttle. Or you can do it the other way where throttle doesn't work and it's just pedal assist. You can do it like that, but if you do the throttle only, you still have to be on a pedal assist setting. So remember that if you are thinking about it, because that's what I wanted to do, but I was like, you know what? Whatever, I'll just keep them both on. So pedal assist 0, yeah, there's a reason why it's always set to 1 for whatever reason. Maybe there's a way around that, I don't know. But we've got the bike together, we know what all the settings do. I've got it pretty much maxed out to where I want it. I need to make sure I'm in the correct gear. And I'm gonna go outside and pedal and have fun. Test the headlight when it gets a little bit darker. That horn, this horn is exactly like the last one. Don't hit it unless you wanna be deafened. But it's really cool, this one has blinkers. Isn't that freaking cool, man?
Pedal assist is really a lot.
So like I did in the video before, this is my steepest slope. It may not look steep, but it is steep enough for e-bikes. So I'm gonna start down here where it's not as bad, and we're gonna see if we can get going. Okay, so it is able to take off. We were able to get through it, a little bit of a struggle. I had to keep it upright. Now we're on the most inclined portion of it. So I don't know if she'll be able to do it, but let's find out. Okay, so this is the first e-bike that's been able to pass my mini hill test. No matter where I'm at, unless I'm rolling back, apparently. Oh, I stand corrected. Oh, no. So it looks like it doesn't have enough power in certain inclines, so it's not the most highest torque. It's not able to get me, but unlike the other e-bike that I have, it doesn't cut out and then you start rolling back. As you can see, if I have it on the throttle, it stays exactly where it's at because it can't go forward. The other one cuts out and I start rolling back. All right, guys, so I went and took this for my little speed run, and I do have to say, maxed out everything, no speed limiter. I got up to 30 miles an hour on the flat road that I have out here. So it is definitely faster than my other e-bike. It is more compact than my other e-bike. Blinker, horn, I mean, it's got a blinker unlike the other one. It still has a headlight like the other one. So a lot of stuff is better on this one. I mean, I do have charging and the suspension. I do have to say the suspension on this is miles ahead. Not the front one, because it's basically the exact same thing, but the side or the back. This single spring right here makes the ride 100 times better than my other bike. Same thing, fat tire, everything. This one even has smaller tires on it, and it has a less wattage motor in the back. But because of this, the ride's better, it's smaller tires. Like everything when it comes to suspension and ride on this is miles better. So in its off-road setting, well, off-road in my yard, side yard, and even in a few off-roady places, this thing handles very well. It's able to take off, it's able to grip with its fat tires. Everything is very easy, and like I said, the ride quality when you're off-road compared to on-road is so nice. On-road, it's nice and smooth. Now, it's not perfect because it does have the fat tires, which aren't the smoothest in the world, but once you start getting into speed, it's really not that bad. It's totally fine to ride with. But if you want to take this thing off-road or semi-off-road, this is definitely the better bike to choose. All right, guys, final thoughts on the Bluvall SU8. I really like this e-bike. Now, compared to my other two e-bikes, my little foldable one and my big old mountain biking one, I think this has everything the other ones have except for the folding ability, which I guess I'm okay with. Not a lot of bikes are foldable, that's a niche. But the big old headlight is amazing. It's got the fat tires so it can go off-road. This is lighter. It's got a very powerful engine. Even though the motor is not as powerful as my other one, this goes faster. I was able to get over 30 miles an hour just down my neighborhood on this bike. The gears are more than enough. It is an e-bike, so I'm not going to use it as a regular bike, but the 7 gears up front is completely fine. I don't need 21 speed or anything like that from an e-bike. The seat is comfortable. It's not a regular bike seat, which is notoriously uncomfortable. This, I don't even know what these are called, but this is really, really nice to have. And it's big enough, you could probably put 2 people on here. It's got a blinker, so if you do want to take it on the road and just be courteous to people behind you, you've got a blinker. It comes with the guards. There's so many things about this that I enjoy. And I do have to say, the piece that is the part that I would say I love this more than any other e-bike I've had is this rear suspension. This rear suspension changes this e-bike. Just that rear suspension piece, it is the smoothest ride by far, by a long shot. I would ride this bike every day just purely for comfort, but it is faster and it is smaller. So at the end of the day, 100% recommend this bike. I will be using this as my daily bike. So if you are interested in this, down below, I'll have the information. You want to get it, I'll give you a discount code, you know, all that fun stuff. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you are getting an e-bike, highly recommend this one. Maybe I'll do a little bit more e-bike stuff because these are just so much fun to have. I would like to get one that has much higher torque so I can get up hills and stuff from a standstill, but this has more than enough power to go up a hill. It's just at that standstill. Still haven't found an e-bike that is 100% super torquey on the low end, even messing with the settings. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next video.